How are you guys? This is JP Sarri. Once again, I'm coming to you with another video review. This is going to be another showdown video. Many people have asked me, not only here in my channel, sometimes when they leave the comments, they leave questions, but also people have asked me on the different forums which one I consider the best Bowen the Sun Hulk statue. First of all, we're going to start with the sculpt, and we're going to come up close. I'm going to come close to the statue so we can really look at it up close and personal. First of all, starting with the SmackDown Hulk, a true classic, a grail for many, considered as a grail. I personally, if you have seen my review, you know all my opinion about this piece, how much I love this piece. But looking at it, looking at this skull, looking at the statue in itself, it's a very heavy statue, but the detail in this piece is fantastic. Look at that facial expression. Look at that. The hairs, the strands of hair, the upset figure, the tongue inside, all that stuff. You can see all this is sculpted. These muscles are humongous. I really love them. The pans, the rib on the pans, it's just fantastic. It's so lively. He had so much energy, as you can see. I love all the detail on the sculpt. Fantastic. Look at that base. Look at the base. Has all the rocks and the rocky terrain. Even the toenails, they're really good. You can see some veins popping even in his feet. This is a fantastic, and for the year for 2006, honestly, as you can see, this is a true masterpiece of Randy Bowen. Look at these hands. Look at all the detail, all the veins. Just fascinating. Even his butt, can you imagine that? All this detail. Look at the back, one of the most magnificent backs I've seen. Fantastic. You can see all the muscles, all the definition, all that detail, every muscle popping, definitely a true classic. Now, let's go into the retro green Hulk. This came out in 2009, and as you can see, Randy did the body and Troy McDevitt actually did the pants, just the pants. But fantastic job, fantastic. This is one of the statues that I consider has so much energy, a lot of raw energy when you see it. Look at that expression. He is upset. He's like a monster, that is holding up a lot of anger. And it's just fantastic. He might not be as flex as this one and this Savage Hulk, this SmackDown version, but he has so much power. And this base, I really love this base. I love the detail. It's not only a rocky terrain like you see here. There is more texture to it. As you can see, there's more debris. It has this monkey face, this Neanderthal type of image, this like very Frankensteinian presence. Is just fantastic. And look at those arms. Also, you can see the crest. This is fascinating work. This detail really puts Bowen Designs apart. Even you can see his elbows. They're not perfect. They have some little imperfection. It's just natural. I love it. I love it. Not too crazy about this. I wish I needed a little more detail on this part. But, it wasn't bad. I think Troy did a great job on this. Now, let's go into the sculpt of this more newer piece that came out in 2000, at the end of 2012, early 2013. But look at it. It's just fantastic. As you can see, this piece has been, it was sculpted, the face was sculpted by Randy Bowen. The body was digitally sculpted by Karamalabi. You can see there's detail in that face. That face, I love that expression. The nose, there's a lot of little detail. Randy knows how to do things. His tongue, his teeth, there's detail. There's some veins popping. His muscles. It's just perfect. The symmetry, and as you can see, the pants. There's detail in the pants. Look at those. Those hands are powerful. Are very connected. You can see the muscles. fantastic. I love the simplicity of this piece in one way, but it has so much gray detail. You look at this, even there's still some veins and the creases of the muscles, and all these lines and all that. This is a perfect feat, honestly. And I love that vase. A simple base, more muted than the other two, not as as rocky as the other ones, but still has detail. You can see little moss coming through, busted concrete. Now, going into choosing which one I think is the best. Honestly, it took me really a while to trying to come up with an answer for that. In reality, I don't have the answer. I personally like each one of them. Yes, this one is larger in scale. It's big, is very muscular, and a lot of people would say it was digital sculpted, but this part of the new art. And what I love that part is that it combines two arts, the digital sculpted and the facial, and the face, the head that was manually sculpted, really combines the art, and that's a step forward to what the future will bring. There's others, there's a combination here between Troy McDevitt and Randy Bowen. Fantastic piece. I love the vase. And this one, yes, it's a classic. Very muscular, very live, very energetic. These represent different eras of Hulk, different eras of the comics. So to be honest, it will be hard for me to really say, well, this is better than the other one, because then I will just diminish, or I'm gonna pretty much put aside a great part of the culture of Hulk, of the history of Hulk. So in reality, I'm gonna give each one of them a point. There's a tie between the three of them. Well, now we're going into the paint application. We're gonna find out which one is the best. The SmackDown version has it's very lively. Actually, I can tell you one thing. When I saw the pictures of it before I even purchased this statue, when I saw pictures, I never really liked the color. I thought it was too yellow in my mind. It was too lemony, and I felt that that's not something that I wanted to do, until I opened this and took it out of the box for the first time and I saw it with my own eyes. I realized how beautiful the color, the combination of color of this piece has. It has beautiful color. It's very lively. It has like a little shine, like an oily type of feel that I really like, because it makes the texture to really jump at your eyes, as you can see it. It's one of those pieces that is beautiful, even more beautiful when you see it in person than when you see it in pictures or videos. So this video will never really give true justice to this piece. I love the color. I love it has a lot of shading, and I love that it has that bright color that really shines, and from afar you can see all the definition that really makes this sculpture even look better. Some people were not too happy about it. They said they had pink pants, but the truth is, if you really look at the comics, you're gonna see that this was actually the color that was used for Savage Hulk in the mid-70s. So it's truthful to the comics. I really like the colors. It has shading. It's not gonna tell you that it's completely perfect. In some ways, I can say, for example, I love this. It has the yellow teeth. A lot of people say that probably they're not as good on the tongue. It's not bad. I love it. I love it. It's not 100% perfect. The eyes, some people have problems with the eyes, saying that they kind of look bad or too reddish, and to be honest, they're not. It has imperfections, but for a statue that was actually done in 2006, it still holds pretty well. The rocky terrain is black. Honestly, I wish that it was a different color, another different coloring version, but it didn't happen. So, but still not bad. It still has a little different colors there, here and there. This piece is more muted. It's a little darker green. A lot of people say that it has little black eyes there. Other than that, it's a simpler eyes. They're just little two dots right there, two black dots. When you look at the prototype, well, as pictures of the prototype, you see that it was a little shinier, the green, compared a little closer to this green. It was darker green, but it has a little shine like this one does. The final product didn't have that, and some people complain about that, and to be honest, it's true, as you can see right there. But it's not as shiny. But also, when you look back at the comics, there was not that shine in the comics. So it really plays well with the representation of the Hulk back in the days. The teeth are not as marked as they are on this one, but to be honest, it's not bad. It's still not as perfect. I wish it has like a little lines to define it. Other than that, it's unnecessary. I think even the tongue. I love the tongue inside. I love his attitude. You know, I love the attitude of this piece. The pants. It has more of the purple color that more people like, and it has the shading. So you know, it's not bad. Like I said, it's not as shiny. But to be honest, that color works perfectly with the sculpt. It really makes it look more natural. This is a more natural color. It has different colors, different variations of color. You know, it's fantastic. I love the paint application on this base. I think they did a fantastic job, not only on the piece, they did the overall thing. Versus this one that only is kind of black, dark, and it's lost. All you can see is the statue. Even though this one is the statue, still the vase plays a big part and plays fantastically with it and goes along well. This is more modern. This is newer. And to be honest, the paint application is flawless. Every time I look at this piece and looking for that, you know, as you can see, you know, there's an evolution in these pieces, you know, even with the paint application. Yes, this is shinier more than this. This is more natural. But this one is like this to combine and create this paint application. It's shiny, but also is natural, you know. So this really shows the maturity of the company, of Bowen Designs, and the factors that they have employed for years. You know how well they have become. This piece is perfect in every sense. You can see the teeth is nice, the green tongue versus the red tongue of this one. You know that I love that. Also love that. I love that. I love even the eyes. It has the little detail. Look at the eyes. They are fantastic. I really love them. I really love the paint application, the shades of green in the hair. I love that little lemony, yellowy, you know, spray on the top of the green. You know, it's just fantastic. Make look the piece, and those pants. You know, the purple. Purple is fantastic, and I love that they have this difference of color. It's not just a plain thing like it happened with the Kurovikiao, that it was just a plain color. This has the difference, and I love that. And I love even the knees. I love the green. There's no round-ups. There's nothing imperfections. It's a simple job. Simple colors, just a few colors versus this. But they are fantastic, and the overall piece receives that benefit. I really love it. I really love the green. It's just fantastic. And from afar, it looks perfect. It really makes that sculpt even shine even more. It gives more personality to the piece, and it stands even better. Now, looking for the winner, looking which one I consider to be the best paint application. This was a toughie one for me. I have to really consider that. There was a lot of things. Personally, and I'm gonna be honest, I believe that this Hulk is an evolution of this. It's an evolution in color. I think this represents what Bowen Designs have done in the last few years. Cleaner, you know, it really works well. It has shading, you know, but it's not overcoming the piece. It's not what you see. It's pretty much part of the piece, and it looks natural. So this takes 2 points. This is the winner of this category. Now, looking for the runner-up for the second place, which one I consider to be after this. To be honest, going back and forth, I was trying to figure it out. This was the difficult part of this this category, because yes, this one has like a little glossiness and it looks fantastic, versus this one that looks more natural, a little darker. But this one has a fantastic base, and the painted vase really makes the difference versus this black plain. Even though it has detail on the skull, when you come close, you really cannot see it versus this one. So to be honest, I couldn't really find a winner between those two. So I believe that they are both at the same level. You know, because this one improved in some areas, maybe not in others, but you know, this one still holds a lot of quality versus this one in some other areas. All right, guys, now we're going into the design. And when I think about Sal Buscema, and I think about his era, 1970s and the 70s of comics, you know, I personally love, and everybody is a fan, and when they think about Sal, they have to think about the Incredible Hulk. You know, and looking at this piece really represents that vibe of the era, that power, that energy. When I see this piece, I can see something that to me is iconic, and that's the way he pounds the ground. He's ready to pound his enemies. I love the concept, you know, and it goes well. The concept of this piece is fantastic. Yes, because it is an older piece, and most of those pieces from Bowen Designs from that era are a little smaller versus the newer Bowen Design pieces that we have nowadays. It make this piece look a little shorter compared to the others. Yes, it looks shorter, but it's not small. It's big, it's wide, it's heavy. I honestly love the style and the design. It plays fantastic with a lot of the action Bowen pieces. You know, a lot of the action, you can create all kind of dioramas. You know, this is a museum pose, yes, versus the action pose. You know, of course, it really plays better with museum poses, but also has a lot of energy. And I have been able to display it with other, you know, action pieces like the spinning hammer, Thor, and it looks fantastic with it. You can put it in a display. It looks terrific. I think I love the design. I love that it has that Frankensteinian style, that energy, that he's contained in one way, but also he is ready to pound someone. He is powerful. He is powerful, and you can see it that way, and it really represents that. It's more muscular than the original version, of course, of the Kirby era, but really plays homage to it and really plays with the style. When I look at this other piece, technically has nothing to do with any era in particular, but really plays homage to also the Savage Hulk of the 70s. Also it does, and many artists over the years, even newer artists, have represented Hulk this way, and I love it. I love that it's simple. I love that it's powerful. I love it stands tall. It's big. It's humongous. It's taller than any other piece that I have in this scale, you know, and when they're all together, they're fantastic. I really love it. You know, I love the simplicity of the style. It's a museum pose, but with that energy, you know, that energy and that facial expression. He is powerful. Every time I see it, I'm thinking about the Defenders from Neil Adams, you know, that cover. I think also about Sal Buscema when he represented the character. He drew it a couple times with a darker green. I can see newer artists from this era, from the 2000s, from the 90s, you know, represent Hulk this way. To be honest, really trying to decide which one has the much better artistic design, it is a tough decision. And I was put back in the same position I was with the Sculpt, really trying to find out which one was the best. You know, it will be really difficult because to me, they are playing homage to the character, to Hulk, in the different eras and times and artists of Hulk. So this is a tie between all of them. I think each one deserves 1 point. Production quality is so important. Because one thing is to have a concept, one thing is to create the concept and build a piece, but the casting process, the piece, what you get, you know, from the factory, that's another thing. That's a different ball game. As you can see right here, what I love about this, and I mentioned this piece is heavy. I love that. You know, I love when pieces are heavy. It is a piece, it just goes with one peg goes in, and it's just it. Now the thing is this, I love the concept. You know, back in the day, it seems like the bases, as you can see, the bases were not as big, they were smaller. That was the concept, you know, and I like that. The thing about this is, piece is heavy, it goes nowhere, but because the base is small and because it's just one peg actually there, as you can see, this piece, okay, it's not as stable, even though it's very heavy and it's going nowhere. You know, it kind of rocks a little bit. You know, you can push it, not as much as other pieces. Other than that, it's heavy, and I love that. It means that you're getting more for your money. You're getting really your money's worth on this piece. Now, looking at this piece, fantastic. Like I said, the production piece, this is more firm. As you can see, I love it. It also goes with one peg in there. It sits in there, and there's like a little opening there for that to sit down like in the other piece. It's smaller feet though compared to the other feet, but once it sits there, I can tell you one thing, it's so firm. I think they're not really shaking anywhere. It still goes with a rod. It is a heavy piece, not as heavy as this one. I think this is a lot heavier than the other two. It is, but you know, it is more firm. It stands more stable, and it is a fantastic piece. Now, going for this one, like I said, it's a newer piece. It's heavy. It's not hollow. You know, it's a little lighter than this other two. Yes, it is. Like I said before, I've never been a complete fan of, you know, having this piece connected with the base, because if something breaks, pretty much you have a problem there. Sometimes base can give you a protection on that, but to be honest, I love that these feet are massive, so they're really well planted. So this makes this piece a lot easier to carry, to transport. It's very firm. It's a lot firmer, as firm as this one. This one is heavier, so it feels sturdier. But this one is heavy too. Base and production quality. One thing I can tell you is this. Like I said, this is an evolution, as you can see. Bowen has been consistent over the years with the quality of the pieces. Sometimes some little holes here and there, but for the most part they've been consistent. And I can see it here. I can see that production, the quality of it. You know, what was done in 2006 was the same as was done in 2009. There was little differences, but other than that, there was the same type of quality. You were getting the same. You feel you're getting something that is powerful. I really think and consider that Bowen has proven over the years that as a company, they are what they promised to be, you know, and they have given you that constantly. In refinement, even though I don't see any imperfections, you know, even though those pieces are heavier, you know, this one has a little stability issue. This one is perfect, maybe lacks a little refinement in the color. I believe, like I said, it goes back to the same thing, that I think this one feels more refined in the paint application. It feels refined, you know, and I think that's what takes this piece a little above, you know, compared to the others. Overall, I believe that even though it was a close call, you know, you might disagree with me, and in reality I could say that I think this is more refined overall piece than the other two. So again, 2 points for this, half a point for this too. Alright guys, as you can see now, we have a winner, and in this case the variant version, the exclusive. To be honest, this was a hard call for me. It took me a while. I have to really think through about it. I have to ask my wife a couple times. I have to ask my daughter what she thought about it, and until I came to a conclusion. You know, it takes me a while to really come to a conclusion to see which one I think is the best. And I can say with certainty that I make the right call. Some people might disagree with me. I understand that. You know, this is just my personal view. But you know, one that I have really considered. I sit down and I thought about it, and I went and online and look into other people's opinions, and I read a lot of the old threads, and you know, I came with this conclusion. I think this is the right call. Of course, you know, this is open for debate. It's open for, you know, for perception, and it's open for, you know, personal, you know, opinion. You know, so you can take it as it is, just as my personal opinion. Thank you very much. Please don't forget, follow me on Facebook. Please, if you're watching this video for the first time, or you are starting to watch my videos, please like, please comment, please subscribe, support this channel, and I thank you. And if you have any questions, please leave your questions below. If you have any comments, leave the comments, and I like to read your comments, and I always answer any questions. So thank you very much. Have a nice morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'll see you on the next review.